What would you say is kind of like the biggest takeaway from these successful people that you've come across?
Definitely taking chances. So definitely, like you were talking about opportunities, it's about jumping on that opportunity. A lot of times, a lot of people have that same idea, but you happen to be the only one who actually takes a chance and does something about it.
I believe we all in our lives get these windows of opportunity, right? And we see that these decisions that we make could be monumental in our lives. And I think you need to be smart enough to take advantage of those windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
Everybody gets them, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about how you're gonna go about it.
It is the relationships that you create with people that kind of put you where you're at, right? So I've been in this business for a long time, and I think one of the reasons I am where I am is obviously because of the relationships that I've created in this business, and I have a great relationship with people. I have people that I've stopped working with in 2013, 2015, and I still talk to them, and you kind of just have, you put out, these good vibes with people.
People are so used to the happily ever after.
Yeah.
They meet the person of their dreams and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Hell no, man.
That never happens.
That never happens.
Yeah,
you never get to the point where you're it. That's it. It's like the moment that's it is when you die. Hey everybody, this is Renato and this is Pieces Fire. I'm here this time with my good friend Jorge Galvez. We go way back from my Peru days. So I'm gonna have him tell you a little bit of what it is that he does and our relationship and how we know each other.
Cool. Yeah, my name is Jorge Galvez. I'm originally from Lima, Peru, and I am the general sales manager here at Motorcars of Atlanta. I've been in the car industry for close to 14 years. So been working with cars, which has always been my passion. Ever since I was a little kid, I've always enjoyed cars and really liked cars, and cars have always been in my mind. And ever since I came to the States, I was always involved in cars and had a car and worked on my car and did all kind of crazy stuff. So I remember actually one of the things that I tell people all the time, I talk about, remember you had a race car, or the race car that your dad had?
My dad used to race cars.
Your dad used to race cars, and remember that car? I think I might have driven it. You taught me how to drive. I don't remember.
I think it was a Toyota Tercel? No.
Yeah.
Tercel?
Yeah, I think so. But you used to, we've ridden in that car with you and all that kind of stuff. So, I don't know, it's a passion that I found since I was a kid. And then obviously as I went to school here in Atlanta. I went to Kennesaw State University and graduated in business and started in telecom, and then ended up shifting to cars, which is actually what I really enjoy. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a ride. I remember, Jorge and I went to high school together in Piura back in the 90s, I remember he moved to the United States probably a couple of years into the 90s. I think it's 96?
95, 96.
95, 96. And from there, we had a period of time that we didn't talk or anything because, of course, we didn't have Instagram, Facebook, or anything like that. We probably had a couple of emails back then. And then years later, I remember I ended up moving to Dallas with my family, and I ended up coming here to visit you. Remember that?
Yeah.
And you had your 350Z.
Yeah.
Nissan, right?
Yeah, I had a 350Z. Yeah, I was already into cars at that point.
That's exactly right. I remember I got in here and I realized all the things that you were into, a lot more. The 350Z was a two-seater, right?
Yeah, two-seater.
It was a two-seater, and that was the first time that I got into a car like that, and it was just, you love speed.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember everybody wanted to race you on the road, and you were like, okay, you ready? And it would just like hit it super hard, man.
Yeah.
I remember that, and that's when I realized that was your passion. And then years later, you started, working in the industry, and you were with Audi for a while, and then you moved on to Motorcars of Atlanta.
Yeah.
As of what? It's gonna be a year.
Close to a year now. So
Okay.
I was with Audi. So I started with Audi in 2011. So I was a client of the Audi store. And then through passing, I think I was either getting a car or my dad was getting a car, and I was switching jobs. I was gonna go take a job. I was gonna go work for a gas company, Gas South, and I also had a job offer from Coca-Cola. And I was in the process of like interviewing with the two companies, trying to decide, and then I think I was gonna go with the Gas South maybe like job, and then I went into the dealership, and I was telling the guy that was doing my paperwork, and he was like, oh, you should come work over here, and I was like, oh, really? Like, and he's like, are you serious? Like, I was like, yeah, I mean, kind of like, because we used to live really close to the Audi dealership, and he said, no, like, I'm being serious, and I was like, I am too, and then, long story short, within a week, I talked to a couple other managers, and we kind of figured it out, and I started at Audi, and I had my career with them, with Audi for, gosh, I was there for like 13 years.
Yeah.
And then recently, came over to Motorcars. So
That's great. I mean, it's funny because the reason of this podcast is to talk to people that do what they love, first of all, but not just that, but they make a living out of that. You know, and it's, you have that decision, like windows of opportunity. That's what life is all about. And you had a job in gas and then a job like selling cars, basically, right?
Yeah.
So, and you decided to go for the thing that you loved.
Yeah.
And then look at us now, or look at you now, right? Motorcars of Atlanta. I mean, you got luxury cars in here. Tell me a little bit about Motorcars of Atlanta so people can know.
Yeah, so Motorcars of Atlanta, we have the franchises for 6 of the biggest brands in the luxury industry. So we start from Rolls-Royce to Aston Martin, McLaren, Koenigsegg, Lamborghini, and Lotus. So we are the official store, store for each brand in the Atlanta area. So if you're in the Atlanta area and you're looking for a new Lamborghini, a new McLaren, new Rolls-Royce, then you would come talk to us. We have the direct relationship, obviously, with the manufacturer. So it's really cool. I mean, it's a great job. It's literally, I tell people, it's a dream job to be able to interact with these manufacturers that have so much history, so much heritage, and for people like me, and you love cars too. I know your kids and my kids. I mean, it's one of those things where it's great. I mean, I talk to McLaren. Sometimes we have calls, on Monday and Tuesdays, and they just won the race, the F1 race, and I mean, we literally do stuff around that. Like we live and breathe the brand, and it's really cool. I mean, it's really amazing. It's a great opportunity, and it's something that, I even when you're, because it is a job. I will tell you, like, people think, oh, it's so cool, you work. I mean, there's pressure, there's numbers you got to hit. Obviously, there's a lot of things going on with the economy, so you're juggling all these things, and I think in my position, a big part of it is dealing as well with personalities and with everything that involves the business. But a lot of times, I just take a deep breath and look out my office glass, and I mean, you see McLaren, you see a Lambo, and then you're like, oh, okay, this is why I do what I do. So sometimes you just gotta go, drive a car around the block, come back, and then your mind is just, you're back in. So
yeah, it's funny to get lost in that a little bit. Like when I worked with the Cowboys, I was immersed in that world, and honestly, anything that would happen, it would be world news. Like within that. Seeing your work on billboards, seeing your work on like the big jumbotron from the Cowboy Stadium, and you're like, oh, cool, whatever. But you get out of that, and you're like, man, like all the things that I've accomplished, all the things that I've seen, it's like, look at where we come from, like all the way from Piura, right? From a small town in the north of Peru, and then now, you're talking about the biggest car brands in the planet. And I got to work with like the biggest sports company in the planet as well. It's wild, man.
It is.
And I guess my question is like, is it luck? Is it like is it being crazy and making crazy decisions about going to sell cars instead of like going to a nice gas job, like oil and gas kind of job? What do you think? What did you attribute to that?
So I think there's 2 things, right? I think there is, for me personally, when I talk we have a lot of younger kids that come in and they look at these cars and they ask me, hey man, how do you get this job? And I tell people, personally for me, I think a lot of it is visualizing. You have to see yourself in that position. I believe in that. I believe in almost like daydreaming. And I also dream. I like, before I go to sleep, I like to think about things and visualize things. But I feel like I'm always also with that visualizing. You can visualize positive things, negative things. I'm always a very positive guy. Always look at the glass, half full kind of guy. So I think that would be for me, for my journey, it would be step one. I've always seen it, visualized it, like almost like, you know, you put it out into the world. But I would tell you I think another very important thing would be hard work. You got to work hard, and you got to outwork people. And I mean, you can have talent, and I think obviously just looking at your journey, like since we were kids, we knew you were talented. You knew all the drawings and all the stuff you used to do, and music and everything. I mean, we knew where you were going to end up, because you can see certain traits from certain people. But I think, and you can probably attest to that, you have to be able to mix that with, because you can have all the talent in the world. You see it a lot of times in sports. You see it with soccer players who have all the talent in the world. I mean, we talk a lot about soccer because we like soccer. I mean, you see it in basketball and anything. But if you don't put in the work, you're not going to get any work, right?
No.
And I think a lot of times hard work will outdo anything. And that's something that I've always done. I've had the luck that, you know, my family has always supported me with that, because it's a very, any career I think can be tough when you're trying to really push that hard and push yourself to a limit. But I think hard work and just believing in yourself, which is part of that whole visualizing thing, and just seeing it and believing in it, and it just kind of happens. But there's also a little bit of luck. I think you got to be, you know, right place at the right time kind of thing. So I think that also has to do a little bit with it.
I think we all, and I believe in this, I believe we all in our lives get these windows of opportunity, right? And we see that these decisions that we make could be monumental in our lives. And I think you need to be smart enough to take advantage of those windows of opportunity.
Yeah.
Everybody gets them, right?
Yeah.
But it's all about how you're going to go about it.
Exactly.
I had, for example, and I say this a lot to Lucian here and my son. I think I've told you this a couple of times, but I had the opportunity once. I did not like to go places before I moved into Dallas, because I moved too much, and moving countries, it can be stressful. So I was done. I was just moving so much that I just want to stay here. I don't want to do much. But then I got the opportunity to go to New York, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to shoot fashion. Let's see what happens. I went to New York, and I met this Ukrainian model. Her name is Anastasia, and we worked together. We did a photo shoot, and then she was like, hey, what are you doing in September? And I was like, this is probably in May or something like that. I'm like, well, I don't have any plans. I'm just going to be working. I was like, oh, do you want to come to Fashion Week in Milan? And I was like, huh? What? Like, yeah, do you want to come? If you come, I'll hook you up. You know, I'll help you out. If you really want to do it, I'll help you out. And at that moment, I'm like, okay, I probably don't have enough money for a ticket. I don't know what I'm going to do. I didn't know because I was freelancing at the time. I don't know what's going to happen the week after. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? So I bought a ticket. I ended up going to Milan. And from that trip, a lot of faces turned my way. You know, even though for me, it was one of the greatest trips of my life. But I got to meet a lot of great people and doing the damn thing.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And not just that, but a lot of eyes turned towards me, and things started to change, and people started looking at me like, oh, he's getting stuff done. And honestly, that's how I met my wife. You know, That's how we connected on social media. She saw that I was shooting in Milan because she's a model, so we connected. And like, I didn't want to date her because she was a model and I was a photographer. I didn't want to mix any of those things. But we did that, and we eventually fell in love. And then that led on to getting married and to having kids. And it's a snowball effect, right?
Yeah.
Little decisions, little things right here that might take like a little bit of guts and balls, like would definitely take you to that next level that you're looking for.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I agree with you. And I think one of the things that you just mentioned, you were saying keyword people. So thinking again about the question that you just asked me, I think it is the relationships that you create with people that kind of put you where you're at, right? Mm-hmm. So I've been in this business for a long time, and I think one of the reasons I am where I am is obviously because of the relationships that I've created in this business. And I mean, I know hundreds of people in this industry, and I have a great relationship with people. I have people that I've stopped working with in 2013, 2015, and I still talk to them. And you kind of like just have, you put out, these good vibes with people, and you do good things. I mean, I know you since you were a kid. You know me, like we're good people. And I think once you put that out, the same people, when they realize, hey, this dude's gonna get this gig, this guy's gonna get this job, he's gonna do that, and somebody overhears that, they're like, oh man, that's a great guy. Like, I work with that guy. Like, all that kind of helps to get you to where you are. So
Yeah.
I think people is the biggest thing, and I think a lot of times that extra phone call, that extra person saying, oh man, he's great, he's like, I mean, even for you, knowing that, and all the people that you met in Milan, probably that, that kind of thing helps.
Yeah, I mean, you know a lot more about customer service. I think I know as well. We kind of call it different things, but the relationships are huge.
Yeah.
Like what you were talking about. I mean, I've hung out with you the times that I've been here, the times that I've worked with you, and you know everybody. You treat everybody with like, you're very nice, and to your point, people want to work with you. People want to come to you because of who you are, not necessarily about the brand. The brand kind of comes later, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it can be like a Rolls-Royce, it can be a Lambo. I mean, the people that you talk to can make the decision to buy almost any car that they want.
Yeah.
But, and they can go to Porsche right down the street if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And they come to you because of who you are, right?
Yeah. I think that's a big thing. But I think going back, that's just about treating people the right way.
Yeah.
You're right, 100% right, relationships. And I mean, I have customers that now buy cars here at Motorcars that I was selling cars back in. I mean, I've got a very good customer of mine. He's a good friend, Eric Kalin. He was my best customer at Audi. And I sold him a car in 2011, and he's recently bought a couple cars here at Motorcars. So, I mean, I still deal with him. It's 2024. I mean, it's crazy. Or 2025, I'm sorry. So
2025, yeah.
2025. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just been such a long time, and I still talk to him, and I know his family. I mean, he's a great friend, and I just always treat him like he was a friend, like he was family, and I think that goes a long way. So
yeah, I mean, and I'm touching on relationships because the audience that I have and all the feedback that I've gotten is from people that really want to do what they love, but they sometimes get into roadblocks, or there's like difficulties. Like, it's hard out there. Like, it's not like all of a sudden we decided to do this and we're doing this. No, there's like a discipline. There's like you have to be constant. You have to do like a lot of things in order to get here. So I guess my question for you would be, what are the biggest hurdles that you've had? Like, is there a moment in your career where you're like, oh man, I think I'm gonna quit. I think I just don't want to do this anymore. This might be too much, or you're just scared. I don't know. Is there anything like that happen to you?
yeah, I mean, I think definitely, right? I think there's certain times, like for example, for my career, for this business, it's a phenomenal business. I love it. I love every aspect of it. But I would say the biggest piece of it is time. It's very time consuming. You have to put in a lot of time. You have to be here. You work on the weekends. I've been working Saturdays for 14, 15 years. So getting I don't know what it is to have, a Saturday, Sunday off. I mean, have I had them? Yeah. I mean, throughout your career, as you move up, you get to have them and you get to enjoy them. But even the structure of your week is totally different in the automotive industry. So I think a lot of times, as my kids have gotten older, you weigh in those opportunities and you're like, okay, it's a great business. It's allowing me to give my kids great opportunities in life and things that perhaps I didn't have when I was growing up. But I would say that question does, especially when you're in the lows, when you're having a rough month, when the economy is not the greatest, when, there's 1,000 things that come to you. You sit back, and as you see your kids grow, or, you lay in bed with them, or you're just, hanging out or throwing a ball, kicking a ball with them, you're like, man, I'm missing out on certain things. And I saw a thing another day that talked about dads and how difficult it is to be a dad, because it's you get pulled 1,000 different ways, and you can't, like, obviously, I mean, I don't want to say you can't, but there are opportunities, I guess, when everything is perfect. But for most of us, if you're working a lot, trying to provide a lot for your family, you miss out on your kids. Or if you're spending a ton of time with your kids, then you're not able to maybe provide the way you want to. And as you're trying to turn too much to your kids, then perhaps, your job or your wife are kind of like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, where are you? Like, I need you. or if you turn too much to your job, maybe your wife or your kids are like that. Or if you're too focused on your wife, then maybe your job or your kids will be. So it's, as a dad, you're kind of balancing all those. And I think that for me, career-wise, that's been the biggest challenge, is being able to be there present for my kids. So I try as much as I can. I mean, they're my biggest treasure. My family is my biggest treasure, and I think trying to balance that and trying to make the moments count. And in my own way, I try to make every opportunity that I get to spend with them memorable and just to create impact. Like last night, we were watching a hockey game with my kids late, and I it's, I don't know, there's just something about making every little thing, just like watching a game, trying to make that moment memorable. So, 40 years from now, when maybe I'm not here anymore, they're like, oh man, yeah, I remember watching those games with my dad. So balancing the family, I think, is the biggest thing, the biggest challenge that I've had in this career.
I remember my mom saying something, like one of the advices that she gave me, because whenever we move to this country, we have to work hard, man. Like there's just no stop. And whenever I had Lucian about 15 years ago, I was still working at a restaurant. 17, oh my gosh, 17 years ago.
17.
She told me, it's gonna be busy, but what matters, if there's not enough time for you to just be hanging out with your kids and spend too much time with them, have those little moments matter. Yeah. Whatever it is that you do in those little moments, make them count. And I agree with you. Like I've been, away from the family for like about a week, just doing multiple things. I've had jobs where like I have to be out of the house for like 5 days, and I have my wife taking care of the two little guys, And this opportunity, I had the chance to bring my oldest with me, trying to show him the ropes about, working in the industry, doing interviews and all this stuff. But it is hard, man, because like what you're saying, it's like if you're working too hard, why are you working so hard? Yeah. And if you're just hanging out too much, why are you hanging out so much and you're not producing?
Exactly.
So it's a juggle, man, and life is always going to be about that. And people need to understand that it's never going to be easy. Like, have you heard, and I don't know if this is a term that I came up with or if you've heard it before, but the Disney effect.
No.
So I like to say that people are so used to the happily ever after.
Yeah.
They meet the person of their dreams and they lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Hell no, man.
That never happens.
That never happens.
Yeah,
you never get to the point where you're it. That's it. It's like the moment that's it is when you die.
Exactly.
There's always something that you have to be fixing. There's always something that you have to be rearranging. There's always something that you have to be adapting to. So understanding that, I think, it's key, and it's something that you have to have present if you want to be successful. Know that you're gonna get hit in the face, man.
Yeah. Well, and it's a choice, right? I even, when my kids are 13 and 10 now, and I even have that conversation with them, and I let them know, because I want them. For me, my father worked a lot too. And I didn't get to enjoy him and see him as much as other people maybe did. But I guess your dad worked a lot too. Yeah. That's just how it was. We have very similar upbringings. But it wasn't until I was like in my maybe 20, I don't remember exactly when, but it gets to a point where you're 19, 20, 21, and you're like, oh, that's why he did it. Yeah. And then it's, because when you're younger, you almost like, I don't want to say, because I never resented my dad, but you're almost like, man, like I wish he was here, man, I wish but it's because you're a kid, you don't really understand life. You're in this Disney world, right? This sheltered, like you're like, oh, everything is, stars and unicorns, and it's not. And then you get to the real life and you're 18, 19, 20, you're like, oh man, this is what life is all about. Like, getting yelled by your boss because you're a minute late or whatever, and you're like, man, like that's what my dad had to do all these years so I could have food on the table, so I could go, do whatever. Remember, we used to skate, buy all the expensive skate stuff, and so he can buy me a car, so he can, all these things that you don't really think about, and then you're like, okay, this is the reason why my father invested all that time. And I think it's at that point when you have the choice to realize and say, okay, do I want to do that or do I not? And I wanted to I wanted to leave something for my kids. I wanted to provide the better opportunities for my kids. And that's the choice that I made. And like I said, going back to what I was originally saying, that's what I tell them. I mean, they're 13 and 10, but they understand it. And I'm like, look, man, like, I wish I could be here. Like, trust me.
Yeah.
Trust me. I wish I could stay here all day. We could watch movies. Yeah. We could, go to the pool, go, run at the park, go ride bicycles. Like, trust me, like, I would love to do that.
Yeah.
But somebody's got to pay the mortgage. Somebody, like, it's not that simple. So I think as a man, that's the biggest struggle that we have. It's being able to, because and I think as man too, and you probably know it better than anyone. I mean, we internalize a lot. You don't really tell too many people that.
Yeah.
You just kind of like you think about it, you put it in, you keep it deep down inside, and you keep moving.
You store it.
Yeah, you store it, and you keep pushing.
Yeah.
And you don't have. I mean, with us it's different. I mean, I tell people all the time about our group chat, and a group chat that's been around for I don't know how many years, but we still talk like we're 10 years old, 12 years old. But at the same time, we can always put our problems out there and that kind of thing. We have that relationship, but you don't have a lot of people in your life that you can really tell them about those struggles that you have as a man. As a man, you just gotta, hey, you're thinking that you got that problem, you can't make that payment, you got, whatever may be happening, your back is hurting, your whatever, you have a headache, hey, you gotta keep going.
Yeah, you forget that you have those pains. You know, it's like you just gotta, and I think it was even worse for our parents. Like now, I think it's a little bit more common to share those thoughts. Mm-hmm. I think I'm pretty with Lucian, with my oldest. I think I do share a lot of that because I do want him to understand the process.
Yeah.
I don't want him to go out into the real world and be. I mean, he's gonna get punched in the face. Like I tell him, life is a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, it really is.
And it's important to understand the process. You have good days, you have bad days, but what's important is to show up.
That's it.
And I think that goes back to our careers. It's like, yeah, good, bad, I suck, that sucks, everything's bad, but keep pushing through. The next day, you might have a better day.
Yeah.
So it's funny that like you say that because I've been not like experiencing things like that. It's like, did you ever get like tired of making decisions?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Whenever you get home and I'm exhausted, it's like, what do you want to eat? It's like, I don't know. Yeah. There's so much that you have to be deciding during the day that by the time the end of the day comes, you're like, oh man, I'm done.
Sometimes you just want to be quiet. Sometimes you just want to be left alone, just sitting down. People don't even realize, like, oh, you just want to get home and like turn on the game. I'm not even watching the game. I just want
we're not.
Yeah,
it's just white noise.
Yeah, I just want to be sitting here for a second, literally holding the remote in limbo, like just Sometimes you need that. I mean, it is go for a dad, and like I said, I feel like we, as the head of the family, you can't go complain to your kids. You can't go complain to your wife, to anyone. I mean, I'm not even going to call my mom or my dad and try to, put that on them. Like I
felt like that too.
Yeah. Like what am I going to do? Like worry them? Like, call them and say, oh, Dad, I had a terrible day. Mom, I had a terrible day. Like there's no one that you can go to and be like, here, give me a hug. Like, right. Like I've had a terrible day. Like you just take it in and keep pushing.
Sometimes I try to share stuff like that on our group.
Yeah.
And in their own way, like, we're all from Peru, so like our sense of humor is a lot different than here in the States. But
totally different.
I think to some extent we do help each other out, but we give each other so much crap.
We do, yeah. They're very unfiltered. I tell people if that group chat ever leaks,
there's no filter. But I found support in that group, believe it or not, because even I bring it out like. Molly sometimes just says some things and it's like, okay, well, I guess I'm not the only one that's thinking like this. Sometimes that's all I need. Yeah. It's like, I'm not crazy. No, so that's really cool. Let me ask you another question. Since you've been dealing with, let's switch gears a little bit. Yeah. You've talked to a lot of, successful people, right? Everybody that comes in here needs to be able to get to a point in their lives where they can afford whatever it is that they want. Yeah. What would you say is kind of like the biggest takeaway? One or two takeaways from these successful people that you've come across?
I would say is definitely taking chances. So definitely, like you were talking about opportunities, it's about jumping on that opportunity. A lot of times, a lot of people have that same idea, but you happen to be the only one who actually takes a chance and does something about it. I think that, and I mean, every time I see it, it's hard work, man. None of these guys that come in here and are successful and are buying, I mean, we have clients that buy, million, $2 million cars, $3 million cars. I can tell you, I haven't met one yet that they're like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go to my pool and relax and have a margarita. Like, they're all in the mix of it. And I mean, they're very successful and they have time for their families, but they're working. They're working, they're busy, they're taking phone calls, you don't get to buy, a $3 million car and just, I'm just gonna chill, exactly. I'm just gonna go to the gym and then, go do yoga and then go grab my Starbucks and go watch a movie with my family. That's not their life. Yeah. At least I haven't seen that. They're all grinding. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you've not just dealt with people in oil and gas or anything like that, but also sports people, like actors.
A lot of celebrities
and stuff like that. Yeah. So I think taking chances is probably what I'm gonna take away from that, because if you don't start something, then you're never gonna know if it works or it didn't. You know? And at some point, whenever you take those chances, they might not work, and you're gonna fall on your face, and it's gonna suck. But now you're gonna know this is not working. Yeah, let's move on. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. How are we doing on time?
It's been like 40 minutes.
Well, you gotta tell me those things.
I feel like y'all both needed that talk a little bit.
That's fine. You can edit it.
Yeah, no.
It's been like 40, you said?
Is it? Really?
It's been about 40,
Yeah? Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, let's just try to close this down. No, because it's good. I mean, there's really not a time frame on this. Because what I do is...
You want to try to wrap it up, maybe?
Yeah, I would like to wrap it up.
Whatever you...
Yeah. So, in general lines, I mean, doing what you love and getting paid for it, right? That's kind of like the focus of this. We've taken away that taking chances is a big thing, right? People out there are asking, what do I do if things don't go my way? What do I do if I have a bad day? I mean, I think we've covered a lot of those things, but in a few words, let's just kind of summarize your experience as starting where you started and where you are, and then just give me your takeaways in life and how to accomplish things that you want to do.
So I'll tell you, I sometimes try to, as you move up as I've moved up in my career, I've tried to think of, you kind of try to put your CEO hat a little bit more, and you're like, okay, obviously, we get in the hamster wheel and you go, but every once in a while I try to step back and say, okay, what am I doing? How can I make a difference? How can I impact people? And this is something that I tell a lot of people, even in interviews. Every time I think about like my career and what I want to do, most people that are in sales, or they would be in my position, they would tell you, okay, I want to increase customer satisfaction by this. I want to, increase sales by 10%. I want to be number one in this. I want to, things that are very metric based. And I tell people there's three things that I want to do when I'm in the position that I am, especially with my sales team. I tell them, I want to make sure that they make that they're happy, that the happiness. That you, as someone who works with me, have joy in what you do every day. So I want to make sure you're happy. And if you're not happy, what can I do to make sure that you're happy every day when you come into work, whatever that may be. The second would be, I want to make sure you're making money, because in sales, people do sales, it's anywhere in the world to make money, but I don't see it as money like the root of all evil. I see it just as a means of like, hey, that's a way for you to go take your family on a vacation. That's a way for you to, like, if your mom is sick, to be able to help her out. If your dad needs rehab, you can do that. If you like to ride bicycles, go get yourself a nice bicycle and enjoy it and be able to do that. So those are some of the things that I like. And then the third one would be, I would say, to find something that I can do to influence your life in a positive way. And what I mean by that, just something that I'm gonna, like a little imprint of me in your life. And it could be something as simple as like, you know, me and you're working together, and then, hey, I said, hey, Renato, let's go to this pizza place that is great across the street. And then move forward, you know, fast forward 10 years later, and then you're with some other friend, and they're like, hey, let's go eat pizza. And you're like, oh man, I used to work with this guy, Jorge. He's great.
Yeah.
Let's go to this pizza place. Just something that was so, you know, maybe, hey, use this pen. These pens are great. Something small that I can do that created something positive in your life. You know, it like a little touch of me on your path in life. But like I said, those three things: happiness, a little bit of money so that you can do the things you like, and just something that will allow you to remember me 15 years down the road. And they're like, oh yeah, I used to work with this Peruvian guy, and you know, he showed me Peruvian food was great, and we went and eat this Peruvian, but whatever the case may be,
That's
you know,
cool.
but
Leave a little something of you.
yeah. And
Yeah.
I think by having those three things in business for me, and focusing on those three things for my team, has allowed me to have the success that we've had, and, you know, being number one in this, or reaching these goals, or like breaking records, or whatever the case it may have been. But once I always prioritize those three, and then the rest is easy.
Yeah.
The rest is, it puts everybody in the right mind to do everything else. So
For the last third one, be memorable. That's what we're talking about.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Be memorable.
Yeah.
I always want, that's when I die, you know, I just want someone to say like, oh man, yeah, I remember that guy. I don't even remember his name, but he, you know, he put me onto that, like, you
Yeah.
know, that, whatever it may be.
Yeah,
The
that's
brand
great.
of coffee or whatever, you know. So,
That's branding, man.
Yeah,
that's branding, but it comes natural from you.
yeah.
And I think that's why you're so successful, and why like people are attracted to you in this business.
Yeah.
So, well, man, I really appreciate this, and I
Yeah.
hope I can come back in here again. And then
You've been in
just-
Atlanta multiple times.
I
so,
know we should
yeah.
do this maybe next time you're in Dallas. I mean, or
Yeah.
we can just come back here and see where you're at in a few months.
Yeah, yeah. I'm sure I'll be going to Dallas soon, so I'll come see you.
Dale, papá.
All right.
All right.
Bro. Always good to see you.
You too,
And
man.
yeah, I mean, we'll, you know, stay in touch. So
That sounds good.
Cool.
All right, see you guys.
All right.
Dale, bro. This was good.
Yeah.
It was like a, how do you call it? Like we needed this conversation.
I mean, we can sit here and talk.